Well, hello there everyone. It is Tyler here again at Disneyland for another Kingdom Report vlog, and this one's actually going to be a little bit of a helpful guideline for you if you want to show up to Disneyland or California Adventure and enjoy yourself at the parks. With all these new post-COVID things going on, things are definitely different than they used to be, so come and join me. Let's take a look at what is different, what is changed, what can help you get through your day. And we're going to start with number one, which is going to be the security and parking situation.
All right, so here I am coming down from Disneyland Drive and off the freeway onto the express lane. And as you can see, I got here around noon and it's really quiet, but if you do get here early, the parking structure opens at 8:30 and the line will be backed up to about that area where the express lane is. So keep that in mind if you're coming early. One thing that could help us all in the long run is you can now buy parking ahead of time on the Disneyland website while you're buying your tickets. And I think that'll actually make things go a lot quicker if there's not a bunch of credit card transactions or giving people change and whatnot. So that's a little tip to maybe start your day a little quicker. Here we are at the little kind of esplanade area for the Mickey and Friends parking structure. And as you can see, this is where the line usually would be. And it's not really a line, it's actually really quickly moving. It's just a mass of people just moving in a direction. And they have their little, temperature checkpoint here and everything. And of course, they also are going to have your stroller rentals and wheelchair rentals here, which is a good thing because once you get to the tram area, it's not a new tram area, it's just a new experience on the tram area, you're going to be walking. So get ready for that. And I had my Apple Watch on from my car to the time I got to the Esplanade of Disneyland and California Adventure. And that ended up taking me, about 12 minutes or so, and it was about 0.75 miles. So keep in mind, if you're going to be parking at Mickey and Friends and heading over to the parks, it's going to be an extra 1.5 miles added to your day. And of course, they're going to give you a couple benches here and there in case you need to rest for a second. It's not the end of the world. It's actually kind of a nice little opener in a way. You get a little exercise when you get there. It's nice. And there's some little art along the way that you can take a peek at. So it's not too bad, but this whole area will be much more crowded if you get here in the morning. And people are generally pretty good at staying far apart from each other. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. And here we are at downtown Disney. It's beautiful. And finally, Disneyland. And look at that Hatbox Ghost. He's so happy to see me, and I'm happy to see him. And it's very calm out here right now at around noon. So if you can wait a couple hours to come to Disneyland, it might be a good idea to come a little bit later because now the parks close at 9, so you'll still be good.
So it's definitely getting later in the afternoon, and that's going to bring me to my number 2 on the list, which is going to be mobile ordering.
I think for my snack, I'm gonna head on over to Tropical Hideaway and get one of the bao buns that has just recently come back to the resort. It's been missing since before the COVID times, and of course now they have these little bowls too that you can get. It's a pack of 4 for $50, or you can buy them individually. I might have to end up getting them. $50 is a lot of money though, but I love Tropical Hideaway. Look at this place. It's so nice to be back. And the only way you can eat here right now is if you do mobile order. So let me walk you through that process real quick. You see down at the bottom, there's a plus sign. You click that, you click order food, then you check out the list of the restaurants, see what times are available. You can click on a time, and sometimes this happens where it says, oh, we're sorry, something went wrong. That just means that the time that you clicked on was gone, and that happens every now and then. Just go back in and click it again and it'll come right back up. And here you can see it's easy. They put everything in a easy to look at menu. They show you pictures, they have descriptions, it's great. And that's, the Dole Whip is great and all, but I'm here for the bao buns. And I gotta get this lime chicken one. I love it, it's delicious. I love them all, but I just decided to go with the chicken. You gotta get the sauce on the side. I put a little extra sauce on there, and it's as simple as that. You click review order, and you pay for it, and that's that. Easy peasy.
I finally got my bao bun. I found a nice little quiet spot. It's nice and shady over here by Sleeping Beauty Castle. And that turned out to be super easy. So as you saw in the video there, it ended up being a like 2:45 time to come back, but it's now only 1:22. So basically what they told me is if they don't have a line, then you can show up, they'll expedite your order. So you just go up to the lady with the iPad, whoever has an iPad, they'll hook you up and they bring your order up to the front. But again, you got to make sure that there's no line. Maybe take a peek in there, and if it's really crowded, it's not going to work out for you. Maybe even ask the cast before you make your order.
And I just had to show you my little bao bun real quick. Look at him all cute sitting there on the little Main Street bench. And of course the sauce as well, which is delicious. It's like soy sauce, spicy, gingery. It's delicious. I highly recommend it. And of course the bao bun itself, full of vegetables, chicken. It's so good. It really is nice and steamy and soft. It's delicious. And these mobile order signs are literally everywhere across the park now. And even if you're having a hard time figuring out how to do your mobile order, you can just go up to one of these signs, get the QR code, easy peasy. And right there was a guy with an iPad, and that was who I talked to get my order expedited. And these signs are just everywhere. You go, every eatery you go to, you just can look at these signs, scan the QR code, not a big deal. And honestly, I really kind of like it. The only problem is when you get a far out time and you're not really sure if it's going to be able to be accommodated or what. But of course, you also have to remember that there's a lot of social distancing right now, so you have to eat in these designated dining areas. These are all over the place, so it's not that big of a deal. But sometimes, like in my case, when I was in Adventureland, I had to go out to Main Street to go and find a place to eat. I still enjoyed myself. It was great. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's just something to keep in mind.
So I came back over here to check it out one more time, and I see now that they are getting a line out here for Tropical Hideaway, and so they're starting to turn people away that don't have the ready screen on their mobile order. So again, remember to check to make sure that they're gonna let you in early if you end up getting a later time, because right now they're starting to not do that. I got very lucky just a little bit ago. The third thing that you should probably take a look into before you come to the Disneyland Resort is gonna be closures, because there's actually a lot of them going on. Unfortunately, it's not too bad, but it's just something to keep in mind. You actually go to the Disneyland.com website, right kind of near the middle, there is a blue section that says learn more about the parks. Basically, you click on that and it has an entire list of all the attractions and shops that are open. So that's a great way to find out if what you want to do is going to be happening. There's definitely no shows happening right now except for like the Tiki Room, for example. So you're not going to want to show up thinking you're going to see some fireworks. Obviously, that's not going to be happening, but we're going to go through a list of some of the things that are closed right now.
I won't get into a full list of closures, but there are a lot of little places, much like this shop, Fantasy Fair Gifts here, that are definitely not going to be opening. And the Troubadour, which sells a lot of baked potatoes most of the time, turkey legs, things like that, not opening. Mickey and the Magical Map, I don't know if it'll ever come back. Right here in this theater, it is not being used at all, as you can see. And of course, one of the big ones that's closed has got to be the good old Matterhorn Mountain. Hello, Harold. I'm sure you're up there waiting for everyone to come back. I miss you greatly, good Yeti. If you didn't know, Harold's name, well, it's Harold. He's a Yeti named Harold. That's it. And but there he is. Look, there's a little mini Harold. But it's just sad that it's closed, but they're doing a massive refurbishment on it, so I'm sure it'll be back within the coming months. And Edelweiss? I have a hard time saying that one every time. That one also does turkey legs, pretzels, things like that. It is closed. And of course, the Finding Nemo submarines, not in operation right now. I think this one is mostly due to just having, you know, such a close proximity to people. I just don't think they want to run that risk right now. Star Wars Launch Bay, also another casualty of the closures. Of course, it's just a shop and a meet and greet, so they can't be doing that right now. Makes a lot of sense to me. And the next place is back over in Adventureland, where the Dole Whip stand is closed, but you can still go over to Tropical Hideaway to get those, so not the end of the world. And Jungle Cruise is being refurbished because they're removing Trader Sam and adding a few new scenes, and that should be a lot of fun when it reopens. Bayside Brews is looking a little lonely here over in California Adventure. And we also have to remember that all these little snack bars like Fillmore's Taste in here are closed. There's no apples, there's no cuties, there's no hummus, there's no drinks. You will not be getting anything from these locations. There's still plenty of popcorn stands and churros, so if you need something healthier, remember to bring it. But don't bring too much because the lockers are closed, both here and at Disneyland, so don't pack all your stuff. Remember that these are closed. As well as the shows not operating right now, and World of Color specifically is going under some renovations here with the projection towers being gone, but there's no Fantasmic or fireworks either.
So we just talked about all the closures that are going on, but what about the things that are open? The attractions that you want to go on, how are you going to get on those rides without waiting in line forever? Well, I think I have a few tips that should hopefully help you out, but remember that it's kind of a jungle out there right now with how many lines that are going on and everything. Just take a look at how many signs there even are.
So as you can see, it can get pretty crazy with all the signs and the lines, and this is the Alice in Wonderland line, and it looks pretty scary, but I guarantee you it's not that bad. It just goes around the building, and it looks massive, but it's not crazy. And even the stores are gonna have lines. This is a pretty empty part of the day, but expect stores to also have lines during certain peak hours. And of course, this is the Peter Pan line here, spanning all the way down to Matterhorn. It goes quite a distance, but again, they seem really scary, and they're not that bad. They really move quickly, and because of the social distancing and people staying far apart, it really moves rather quickly, as I said. So, not the end of the world. I have a couple little tips here for you. One is, you see how quiet it is out here on Main Street right now? This is a perfect time to go on these rides, is probably around noon or even later in the day, like I'm talking about after dinner, 7 to 9 o'clock. Everything kind of calms down a little bit at those periods, but on the flip side, they have been bringing in more tickets. So as time goes on, the park is just getting more and more crowded. And this is around the 1 o'clock period where the park hoppers are able to come in. And as you can see, more and more people are starting to come from California Adventure. And so the worst time to go on rides is probably around the 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock time. And now the one ride that is different than all the rest, except for Rise of the Resistance, I guess, is Indiana Jones here. And Indiana Jones requires that you now get into virtual queue. So what you have to do is go on your app and click on Join Boarding Group. And here you see I was too late to even get one. So make sure you get Indiana Jones first thing in the morning when you get to Disneyland, if that's a ride you want to do. Otherwise, you could definitely miss out.
So, number 5 now. I've talked about the attractions, I've talked about the places to eat, all that good stuff. But of course, what are the things that people really love about Disneyland? I believe it's the characters. And here's how they're doing it with the social distancing. We got Daisy hanging out right behind me here. She's saying hi to some people, and that's how they've been doing it here. Hi guys, how's it going? Good to see you. Yes, it's been perfect. How about you? Thank you. Oh, of course, how could I forget? Thank you guys.
So there you go. It was so much fun talking to these characters. I had a great time seeing them all out and waving to everyone and having a little conversation. And I think this is actually a lot of fun. I kind of prefer it in a lot of ways to how they used to do things, where you would get in line, you would take a picture with them, and then you would leave. I actually find it kind of fun to watch them interacting with different people. And I even love this over by Incredicoaster, where Frozone is sending all the guests off into the wild blue, and I think that is really cool. And they also have these areas where you can line up and go and take photos and have personal conversations with the characters. So they kind of split the difference here. And of course, there's different characters like Mulan, who I feel like is kind of a rare character, and Elsa is out and about rather than waiting in line for her to go and see her. I just think it's kind of pleasant, and I really do enjoy it. There's Alice kind of heading back after her hard day of saying hello to everybody, but it's a joy. I really do love it. So those are 5 things you can remember to hopefully make sure you have a really efficient and fun day at Disneyland. These are just things to remember in the post-COVID times. Remember, you gotta have your parking in order. You gotta understand how to use mobile order. Get ready to wait in some lines that look really scary, but they're not so bad. You just gotta understand them a little bit. Get ready to say hello to your favorite characters, even though they may not be quite as close as you want them to be. They're still here saying hello and giving you lots of love, and you can give them love back, and it's great. And you know, also remember, some things are closed. So as much of a bummer as it is, that's just what happens, you know. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I had a good time putting it together for you. If you have any questions about anything you saw or anything I didn't touch on, you can leave them down below in the comments. Please like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have any criticisms, I guess I'll also take those too. If you're friendly about it, Mr. and Mrs. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. See you again next time on the Kingdom Report. Bye.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.